We are off on yet another adventure. This time we are heading to Layton, Utah, where we are heading to the Utah Retro Game Swap. It's the first time that we've ever been to this convention. We're going to be able to hang out with our good friend John Riggs. He and I and Ryan from Arcades Games, we're going to all have 3 booths next to door to each other. So looking forward to spending time with them. Looking forward to getting to know Ryan more. I've talked to him quite a bit on Twitter and whatnot, but haven't really spent a whole lot of time with him. John, I mean, I'm Discount John Riggs, what can I say? But the cool thing too, I'm even going to have a panel there with Ryan where we're going to talk about, well, I don't know what, we haven't planned anything, so we're going to kind of go off the cuff there. So what am I looking for at the show? Well, primarily I'm looking to have a good sales show. I've got a lot of 3D printer stuff that I'm bringing with me, a lot of the lights, a lot of the game storage, bring in the coasters and whatnot that I recently designed that I shared to the page. There is a game for the original Game Boy that I kind of want. Jay from Square Pegs, I hate him so much because he brings up games that it's like, I forgot about that and I want it. It is like a motocross style game for the original Game Boy that I'm kind of looking for. And above and beyond that, I don't know what I'm looking for. We're just going to kind of see. Oh, one thing we are looking for, though, for my youngest Ellie, she wanted, some kind of plushy princess. So either Daisy or Peach or something along those lines. So we're about ready to get in the plane. You don't get on the plane because there's too much wind out there. But we're getting ready to take off from Chicago. Next stop is going to be Salt Lake City. As we flew in, one of the things that I did is I actually took my Nintendo Switch with me, which I love playing in my Fixture Gaming S2. This thing is amazing. So I just got to the hotel here. It's like 1 in the morning. And yeah, this is going to be a big show. I'm excited to see everything that goes on here. And I think that's where John, Ryan, and I are going to be. Are going to be those spots right there. It is setup time this morning here at the Utah Retro Game Swap, and we just saw something cool. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff going on back that way. You guys know that guy there. Hey, it's your buddy John Riggs, but check this out. It's me. I had no idea they were doing that. Very, very cool. Huge thanks to the Utah Retro Game Swap. I was not expecting that. That's very cool. We were lined up for the last panel of the day, and we also had our table set up here. And hey, check it out, it's John Riggs. But here's the question, John.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great.
I love that jersey you've got on, by the way.
You know, isn't this a smart looking jersey? I mean, it's like perfect fit, custom, like, what a great looking jersey.
Well, and you can go and get your own at Fan Custom website. It's fancustom.com. They can do NFL, NBA, baseball, anything custom, they can do it for you. And man, they fit great. They're soft. You know what? I got to check and see. You've got Launchpad, you've got Webby, you've got Huey, Dewey, and Louie, you've got Uncle Scrooge, but there's no Darkwing. Womp womp. Ooh, Alex Kidd. That's not bad on that. That is cool. I wanted that TIE Fighter so bad when I was a kid. My parents wouldn't get me one. You got the Enterprise D. Oh God. I know a certain person who likes to cosplay as Dr. Robotnik that would love Alf. Oh, look at all the old McDonald's toys. Dear God. I remember the Trolls, yes. Oh, look at the Voltron Force. The old Optimus Primes. Wow. Metroplex. I may have to bring some of these. Oh, there's Hot Rod and Rodimus.
He's missing the front of him.
Twin Twists. My friend Chris Springob had these when we were kids. Top Spin and Twin Twist, that was their names. Oh, okay. So this, I don't remember what his name was, but this was something you had to send away for to get. And because you had to collect so many points to get that. Got some of the Technobots and Terracons here. Oh man, this is too cool. Okay. The head of the car Voltron Force. So much cool stuff.
2055.
Oh, the original Millennium Falcon, not the crappy one that they've had in recent years. Oh, that's so cool. I don't do a whole lot of toys, but I did pick up that Metroplex and that other Transformer. 30 bucks for both of them? Yeah, it was a nostalgia grab, but it was a worthwhile one. One of the cool things about this event is we also had a new camera gimbal for our DSLR that we tested out. I think the footage looks much better than in the past. Well, those are cool.
So there's a few cool things about it. It has obviously the jack.
Yep.
It has
You got the HDMI mod on it?
HDMI. We have the AVD HDMI from Electron Shepherd.
Sure, sure.
And then similar, these have RGB and ES mod.
Okay.
Everything's switched out.
Is it the Tim Worthington mod?
Yes.
Okay. I wish they would bring the HDMI, Kev Trist would bring his HDMI mod back out.
No, I was looking for that recently. Didn't realize they stopped doing that.
One or two of the ICs went EOL. All right, so we just finished our panel, and we're gonna look around because like there's nobody been at the booth for an hour that we've been doing the panel. Ain't nobody gonna miss us right now. Let's see if we can, because I have to find something. I need to see if I can't find a Princess Daisy for Ellie Joe. See what we can find. Do you have any Daisy stuffies? Or Princess Peach?
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay.
You're right, that was me, sorry. No, nothing.
Oh, they even have a retro gaming museum, like a free play area here set up. So the TurboGrafx, Atari, Super Famicom, Mega Drive.
And they get,
These are super cool. Talking about super cool, look at this super cool guy right here. Hi, Paul.
There you are. I came over to say hi to you. You're making it in the premises.
I was at my panel, so I figure since the panel has gotten over, I'm gonna walk real quick, and now I'm gonna go back to the booth. Yeah. Ooh, long box PC games. Hi, Master Daniel. How you doing?
Good. How's it going?
How you doing, guys? So we need to see here. All right. I need Daisy or Peach. Let's see what we can find. Because we have plenty of Yoshis, we have plenty of Marios. I don't see her. Sorry, Ellie, I looked.
You can still find some Boba Fett's with the,
Okay, that's awesome. The original
looted.
Y-Wing. That's very, very cool. It's a trap! Lots of 3D printed stuff here. I was not expecting that. That's my gimmick. I'm so glad I've got the Famicom version of this. Oh, lots of systems. Top loader, nice to see that. Always love to see the top loaders. It's Bing Bong. That's fantastic. Bing Bong and Fear. Lots of Star Wars toys here. That's really cool to see. Ooh, Japanese N64. What do we got? Got it. Got it. Don't got it. Got it. Mischief Maker. Ooh. John, do I need this?
I mean, import Mischief Maker is only 40 bucks boxed. I know, and I know you have the device to play these import 64 games on your US console.
Or I have my Japanese console too.
Yeah, I guess that works too. I mean, $40? I mean, I don't see why not.
But would it be even better at $30?
That's not up to me, man. That's
on camera.
Yeah.
that's not up to me.
Yeah, would you do $30?
I'll do 35.
I could do that.
Okay. Cool. This gonna be on YouTube.
Cash money? Yes, it will. $250 for a backwards compatible PS3 Fat is not terrible. But I have all the PlayStations, so I don't need a backwards compatible one. I want one. Ooh, Famicom. I have it. Never heard of it. Oh, there's even more I did not see. Haha. So if you're looking to get into the Famicom, YY World 2, great game, great soundtrack, so much fun. Ho ho. Another great title. Bonk, so much cheaper on the Famicom. This was literally the one game I came here looking for, and that's the Japanese version, so we're going to find out what we want on this. What are you asking on this?
$6.
Do 5? Nice round number?
You guys having fun?
Those are so cool.
And above them too, man. Mandos.
No. The droids from the 80s cartoon. That's classic. That's amazing. Gotta love the imports. Always a sucker for the imports.
You want to buy one?
No. Well, maybe.
So, I know some of the big hitters, Mother's here.
I don't like RPGs. I just sold one. Do you have the memory card and everything in there too?
No, I think it's just the disc and the manual.
Okay.
Here's the memory card. No, there is not.
Okay.
I didn't know it was supposed to be.
Well, that's just prime. Get it? That's just prime. Holy crap. It's Unicron. That thing is amazing.
How's it going?
How you doing? Box systems, these things are beautiful. If you're into them, the Japanese Pokemon games. Gotta love to see the Virtual Boy. System does not get nearly enough love. So here back at the airport getting ready for our connection to get back home, and man, what a great event at the Utah Retro Game Swap. We met so many people, had a great time. After the show was over, they had a brief auction to just try to raise more money for the event, and there was some really cool stuff. I did bid on one of the limited run games, collector's edition of Star Wars Jedi Survivor with the hilt and everything from Cal Kestis. That went way too high, way too quick. After that was all said and done, we went out to dinner with our good pal John Riggs, with the Mortal Kombat crew. So Master Daniel Pasita, his brother Carlos, Paul Niemeyer, who did all of the illustrations and whatnot for the Mortal Kombat series, Tim Kitzrow, and then a friend of Master Daniel as well, and just had, like, it was the greatest time. And I have no pictures, I have no footage, but it's one of those things where I had been friendly with those guys, and obviously John and I are friends, but really got to be friends with Daniel and with Tim and Carlos and with Paul as well. So that was really, it was just, that to me made the trip. Now, it was so much fun. And then we went later on that night to the karaoke bar in the restaurant, or down in the hotel room, and got told we were being too loud. I don't know why that would be. Oh, Riggs got some footage, didn't he?
Hit it! Hit it, Gary!
Dancing doesn't mean I.
Not quite, not quite.
Thanks, John. Thanks a lot. Clearly what I needed them to play was Friends in Low Places. But just hanging out with Paul and Carlos and Tim and John as well. Just sitting and having, in German they call it Gemütlichkeit. It's just a friendship and a brothership and so on and so forth. So it was absolutely fabulous. what did we pick up? We didn't pick up a ton. We got the 2 Transformers, we got Metroplex, and then that little, like, I can't tell you how cool that is for me to have that little, it was a mail-in deal that you had to collect so many tech specs to send in to get that Transformer, and I now have it back. I remember getting it in the mail and how excited I was back when I was 6 or 7, and it was just fantastic. Metroplex, my goal there, I already started looking at like Thingiverse and some of the other websites. We're going to go ahead and we're going to just 3D print the replacement parts. Is it going to be original? No. Is it going to be good enough for me? Absolutely. And then the 2 games, the fact that we did get Motocross Madness for the Game Boy, a Japanese copy no less. You all know how much I love my import copies. And then Mischief Makers for the Japanese N64. Really looking forward to spending time playing that. One of the things, like I mentioned, hanging out with John, hanging out with Paul, hanging out with Tim, Carlos, Daniel, Tim Kitzrow brought up a great point about Paul Niemeyer. He is the most famous artist that you know that you have no idea who he is. And we recently did a real quick interview for our YouTube Shorts, but we talked a whole lot more than the 60 seconds we can do in a short. Let's sit down with Paul real quick. So getting ready to depart here from the Utah Retro Game Swap, and we had an interesting conversation last night with Tim Kitzrow, boom shakalaka, where we talked about someone that everybody knows his work, but nobody knows who he is. One of the most famous artists ever is this guy here. This is, yeah.
Me?
Yes, it's not a silver alert here. This is Paul Niemeyer, who did the, yeah. First of all, good friend. We've known each other, what, about 4 years now, I want to say? But you've done Mortal Kombat. You did A Robot Named Fight. What other artwork did you do in the gaming industry? Well, and you've done Serial, too. That's the other thing.
Well, I've done a lot of stuff, actually. I've done over 50 games, easily. Maybe more. I don't know. I've lost track. I mean, I was part owner of Eagle Games from 2000, 2005. I had my hand in pretty much every game we did there. I worked for PopCap, did a couple games for them. Done a bunch of stuff for German companies, Pegasus games, video games. Oh my gosh. 3 Pac-Man games, Tapper, Spy Hunter, Wacko.
So, all right, I'm going to put you on the spot then.
Yeah.
Out of all of them you've done, just like your kids, you can't pick a favorite. I'm going to make you. What's your favorite?
Satan's Hollow. Without a real thought. And the reason for it is because it was my very first game that had all my artwork on it. And the reason I kind of like focus in on that was I was in the art department with all these art gods, and I was the youngster. I mean, I was just a newbie. I was like 24 years old, and when I showed up in the art department, my first thought was, oh my God, I'm here with my heroes. And then a nanosecond later, I was like, oh crap, I got to compete with my heroes. So that day when Paul Ferris came over to my desk and dumped those blueprints on and said, hey, you want to do a game? And I said, who am I working with? He said, you're working with you. I went, oh my God. To me, that was like that one moment that he had the confidence in me to hand over an entire game to me. So that's why it's my favorite.
So this is Paul Niemeyer. You know his work. You love his work. He goes to conventions all over the place. Make sure, super cool guy. Make sure you go by, say hi.
And I'm still the most famous artist you've never heard of.
And I've known Paul for a couple years now. I think, like I mentioned in that, we've known each other probably 4 years. We have, friends of friends of friends. So it's always good to see him and talk to him and kind of, hear his stories. He's a cool cat. I put him up there with Terry Diebold, quite honestly, and I miss Terry. But listening to Terry's stories, this is very similar to him. Walter Day as well, same type of thing. I was very glad that I was able to drive. John Riggs and I drove to the airport together. I dropped him off at his gate. He had some travel issues that, at least as of right now, I have not. My flight's about 25 minutes delayed, but other than that, everything looks good. I do want to just take a second I want to thank Tracy and the entire crew from Minus World and from the Utah Retro Game Swap for putting on a great event. It was, the best way I can describe it, it wasn't packed. I never felt overwhelmed, but it was consistent. And that's the type of show where it's like you have a moment to breathe, you can go run to the bathroom, get a drink, get something to eat. I appreciate that type of thing. I do kind of wish we would have sold a little bit more. And at least for the time being, if you're watching this right after the show in September 2023, I've got an overstock sale going on the 3D printer store. So like our big Nintendo lights, normally like $40. I think I marked those down to 30. check the website. We've got all the prices up there, and it's basically as supplies last, because, yeah, I went a little bit nuts with printing for this show. But this was a fun event, just salt of the earth people, no pun intended, being in Salt Lake City. And it's always good to see, the regulars and make new, it was the first time I had a chance to hang out and talk with Ryan, Arcades Games, and we had fun at our panel, and it was a great time. This is one of those things I can see being the Southwest's version of like Mo Game Con. Floor space size, they have probably as much space as Southeast Game Exchange, so there's definitely potential here, and something that if you are in the Salt Lake City or the Southwest region, something you may want to consider visiting next year when they have their event. Don't know if we're going to be invited next year. We'd definitely be interested in coming back. Now, if you do want to check out some of the other videos we've done from other conventions, other pickup videos and whatnot, I'll have those linked for you right here. We can go ahead, check those out, and see what else we picked up throughout 2023.